We like super exciting stuff and special stuff here at DC Motorwerks. Like all used cars, they always tend to need at least a couple things.
It's a bit of a time-consuming and tedious process with a lot of repeats, but it's all very doable.
An S-Class actually lowers your heart rate and extends your life expectancy. These cars are made to live at high speeds for extended periods. Hey everyone, welcome back to DC Motorwerks. My name is Cameron, and today we've got our 2010 Mercedes-Benz S63 AMG Designo Espresso Edition. And I know that is a mouthful because that is a very special edition of this car, with this being a facelift W221, as the 221 was ran from 2007 to the 2013 model year and was facelifted in 2010. But what makes this one special, it is the only facelift year that was equipped with the M156 engine, because in 2011 they went to the M157 bi-turbo V8, which I put here, and we've talked about that many times before. It is not quite as friendly on the wallet as the 6.2 M156. Not that you can expect either of them to be with an aging super saloon from a German manufacturer. But regardless, when I saw this one pop up, we like super exciting stuff and special stuff here at DC Motorwerks. And with the spec of this one being a Designo Espresso Edition, made it super exciting. So this is a special paint color. I know it probably looks black, but hopefully the camera will pick it up here in the sunlight. It is mocha black, so it's kind of like a brownish black with a lot of metallic in it, from the company Designo, which is kind of Mercedes' in-house ad personam personalization firm, we'll call it. And they do special editions of all kind of just hand-picked Mercedes throughout the years. With, I think they did the Slate edition and the Espresso edition in the W221 here, but makes it super special. But walking around again, this is the only M156 facelift powered W221. So you get the updated headlights, mirrors, and a few other things, also meaningfully some of the interior bits. But we'll continue to walk around here and show you the rest of the car, because it is super clean and straight, which is what we like to see here. No dings or any craziness. Always love on the 6.3 cars that you get the nice vents in the bumper there. It does have the 20-inch wheel option, and you can see the all-important twin caliper front brakes there that are quite massive. And we have actually gone through the pain to the wallet of replacing them, because they were due for that. It also has a brand new set of Bridgestone tires on here, as they were worn out, as a 500 horsepower rear-wheel drive sedan tends to do. Just the nice extended sedan, because this is a long wheelbase W221, which is all we got in the US. But anyhow, it is a very nice profile. Always loved on the 221 the wide haunches, which makes it look quite good. And if you come around the back, you get the nice S63 AMG with the quad exhaust. That sounds quite fabulous, which we'll listen to a little later once we have the oil up to temperature. And here we have all kinds of goodies. So we've got some rubber floor mats, as currently I have the very nice Designo branded carpet ones in there. We have all of our books and so forth in here as well. You can see a part of its heritage here coming from Texas, as it was a park place. Some stuff was bought there. Looks like we've got some extra genuine oil in here, and some ABC fluid, which is the active body control suspension, as never want to be caught with that running low. So this one being a fully decked out AMG model, you get the full power trunk, so you don't have to touch anything. And come around to the business section here, as this does have the executive package rear seat. I forget what they actually call it. I think that is actually the correct term. The outboard seats in the rear here are fully adjustable. So you can see they recline. And then you can also adjust the seat bottom and your headrest, obviously. You can see, compared to a normal S-Class, you get a little more bolstering to hold you in on those tight corners. We've got ventilated and heated seats even in the rear. You also have 4-zone climate control with this package, which was an additional option in the S63 that came with the Designo package, as a lot of them just had the dual zone in the front, so you get an extra amount of air conditioning in the rear. And here you can see your controls for your windows, as well as all your shades. So there are shades here, which you can see are down at the moment. You've got the rear shade for the back glass, and then also you've got a control for your rear panoramic roof shade that you can control independently of the front one, which was only on the S-Class, as they expected people to be in control in the rear of the car. I guess you'd call the 63 the driver's car still. But you can see the nice, beautiful two-tone. This is what Designo called sand back in 2010. And of course, you've got the kind of anthracite black leather with the two-tone as well. And these will, on a 63, has a fully leather-wrapped dash, which normally 63s did not have. That was only reserved to the V12 models. But like I said, with the Designo package, you get basically a V12 interior. So you can see all your leather along even the lower door panels here. And everything is covered in leather. And then on the interior, see my nice Designo floor mat there. But you also get the Alcantara or suede headliner and a special wood trim that just really pops compared to the darker burl that is very common. Here you've got a two-stage center console, so it can open from either direction. Now, normally you would be able to lift this up and have a deeper compartment, but because this one is equipped with the rear air conditioning, there's actually an evaporator here. So you do not get the deeper center console, but I think I'd prefer the air conditioning, especially being here in the Southeast. But I'll go ahead and have cameraman jump in and we'll take this S63 for a ride. So as I mentioned a moment ago, this S63 is equipped with the panoramic roof. And like I said, you get sunshades for both the front and the rear. And compared to some of the other Mercedes that have more of a transparent shade here, this one is fully Alcantara suede. So no sunlight gets through. You can see you can control the rear one independently there. But we'll go ahead and show you how the panoramic roof works here. Which works flawlessly, but like I said, it's hot. So we're gonna keep that closed. We'll close the shade as well. And we'll have cameraman jump in this nice sofa seat with the nice AMG logo on there, and we'll go for a ride. So here in the center stack, we'll start with the multi-contour seats, because those are super exciting, and because they actually work all these years later. So you get adjustable, I call them Ziploc bags, but they're air bladders in the seats. You get adjustable seat backs, the seat sides for your thighs here, lumbar, even a shoulder bag up in the top, and you get massage and dynamic seats. And the dynamic seats are when you make a turn, it inflates the side bolster to kind of hug you in the corner. Down below here, you get the IWC clock in the AMG models. And just a very nice setup here. It's very simple, elegant. Got my ventilated seat turned on here. And one of my favorite features of the S-Class of this era is this button here. And that is the R button. And if I click that and hit my ventilated seat, it will turn on cameraman's ventilated seat for him. So that hopefully you can see that here. And also the fun party trick is that I can move him around in his own seat. So if your passenger wants to be coddled in luxury, they can say, "Driver, please adjust my seat." So neat little feature there. With that, we will go for a spin. Our oil is almost up to temperature here, so we will be nice and gentle until that comes up. Speaking of that engine, I know we've talked about, or if you're familiar with the M156 engine, the earlier ones had the potential to have broken head bolts, as the head of the bolt would corrode and snap off and create a coolant leak, and not the funnest thing, but we went ahead and addressed it with this engine, as we wanted it to be as nice as it could be for the new owner. So back here at the back end, the business end, you can see it is a true S63 AMG with the quad exhaust. And of course, we've already put our obligatory DC Motorwerks plate on it. But you can see we are deep in surgery here. We've got the wheels dismounted because like all used cars, they always tend to need at least a couple things before you can enjoy them or move them down the road, whichever your idea is. But Evan is hard at work here. You can see he is quite focused, and kind of what we've talked about in other videos as well is the common flaws of this engine, and we're addressing them for the next owner of this car, and just so we can enjoy it in the meantime as well. So we had some oil leaks, kind of the standard stuff, and if you've seen our other videos, you know one of the first things we want to look at is right down in there, and that is the head bolts. And with this one being prior to about 2012, 2013 or so, it has the old style head bolts. So while we're in here, it's just that makes sense to do it all right and go ahead and put the updated bolts. We'll have a fresh set of gaskets on the top end of the motor. But with that said, let's go ahead and watch some wrenching and watch Evan do some work.
All right, guys, so we have a S63 here with the naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8. And right now, we needed to do valve covers because they were leaking onto the exhaust manifold and causing quite the stench. And so pulled off the valve covers, and while we're in here, decided to go ahead and take a look at the head bolts, see if they're the updated versions. And on this procedure, have to set the crank to 40 degrees after top dead center. We put our cam hold tool down, our timing tool, to make sure that we have the cams in the correct position. Then I'll go ahead and remove the cam caps, pull the cam shafts, drain the block of coolant, and then we can go ahead and start replacing head bolts one by one. It's a bit of a time-consuming and tedious process with a lot of repeats, but it's all very doable.
Right now, this is the cam blocking tool right here, and so it slots onto some flats onto the camshaft. So that just will keep the cams in position while I loosen the cam actuators. And the actuators are held onto the camshaft by this bolt here, and there's a diamond friction washer behind there that will actually keep this cam actuator locked to the cam in that position. So I'm just going to put on my... This tool is more so for installation rather than disassembly, but I do just like to make sure that I have everything in the correct position before moving anything. Yep, so since that fits on, it'll only fit on if it's in the correct position. So since that fits in, these little dowels right here will fit into the holes on the tone wheels, and they will only fit on one way. And so right down here it says links, stands for left in German. Even though we're looking at it and it's on the right hand side, it's always in relation to how the engine sits in the engine bay. So this is going to be our left bank here.
So we put the updated head bolts in, did all the gaskets on the top of the engine. As I said earlier, it's got brand new front brakes. We did tires as well. Also very neat about this one, as I did see before our ownership here, that the engine mounts were recently replaced, as well as the intake manifold, which is a common issue on this engine. So if you're not familiar with the M156 engine, be sure to check out our video, which we'll stick up there. It'll kind of tell you all of the common concerns and faults of this engine, which like I said, most have been addressed on this one. So it is worry-free for the next many miles, as this one is a very low 59,000 miles. You can see the leather dash isn't wrinkled or anything. It is in very nice condition. The 222 generation, the one after this one, is notorious for the dash peeling, which is pretty unfortunate because that is a very labor-intensive and expensive repair. And the nice thing of this engine in this car is you kind of get the best of both worlds. It is completely happy just tootling around and cruising, or it can be your 7,300 RPM redline, over 500 horsepower V8 quad cam that has all the character you want, and also makes that very lovely noise out the back, even in factory muted form. There are dual caliper brakes, bring us to a very efficient stop. Instead of one big 8-piston caliper, they use 2 smaller ones instead. But again, you probably can't hear a whole lot because this is still an S-Class, and it is very quiet and meant to cruise at very high speeds without being fatiguing on the driver. Now you can see our oil is up to temperature, so we are in standard mode here, not sport mode as commonly misunderstood. We did also recently replace the pulsation damper for the ABC, which is exactly like it says. It dampens the pulsations from the pump of the fluid pressures, and usually it makes a humming noise around 12 to 1500 RPM, but that has been addressed. And with that said, we will put the hammer down. We are up to speeds that we should not mention. The nice 7-speed speed shift AMG transmission popping off gears very nicely. I actually enjoy this transmission quite a lot compared to the older 5-speed just because it is more lively. So one other neat feature of the S-Class of this generation is it debuted with the first night vision system, which it's not dark outside, but you can see it'll say only when it's dark, but that whole screen that houses the speedometer will turn into a night view camera. It's a neat little thing. I've actually used it before because it does kind of extend your vision, although it is a little strange to be looking down at the cluster to drive. So it's just kind of something to assist, not to rely on. I know it goes without saying, but these are very lazy boy type seats. Although you do get the extra bolstering of the AMG, they are quite cushy, and you can see just how big the cushions are, and they just kind of swallow you up and keep you in perfect comfort. But that is what you want for a driver-focused car, which is kind of what this one is designed to be. You can see all of the dash is kind of canted towards the driver and focused over here. They want you to be able to spend hours behind the wheel at high speed, which I'm no stranger to, as we like the cannonball thing around here at DC Motorwerks. Be sure to check out our videos about that there if you're not familiar. These are kind of the perfect vehicles for that if you want to drive across the country at high speed. Allegedly, as being in the car for over 30 hours or so can be quite tiring on you if it's loud or uncomfortable or smells bad, which is none of the case in an S-Class. As even though the Autobahn has just short spurts of high speed, these cars are made to live at high speeds for extended periods. Here you can see our nice Designo script as well on that nice piece of wood. We'll get a shot in a little bit of the rear seat where you get to your controls for the rear, but from the front you can control them also. Go down to the AC menu here, hit the button. If you go down to rear, you can control your rear air as well, which I currently have to match the front. Some of the other options you get, see this is the mono control, that everything stays the same temperature. You can also change your footwell. If you have hot feet like me, you can change your airflow to focused, medium, or diffuse, and that actually just changes how the air comes out of the vent. I kind of like it medium to focused when it's really hot out like this, and when it's not so hot, kind of diffuse the air so you don't just have a bunch of hot or cold air right in your face. And you can also turn off the AC compressor if you just want regular outside air. And we'll just throw in some pictures because pictures speak 1,000 words. Now that you've kind of seen how it drives, that you can check out some of the stills of this beautiful interior and exterior of this very special edition Designo S63. So I know I haven't had a whole lot to say about the S-Class here, and that is because, to quote our good friend Jeremy Clarkson, is that he has said that an S-Class actually lowers your heart rate and extends your life expectancy. And that is exactly the case, because I'm very relaxed in here and just enjoying the drive. Nice coddled luxury, in that even with this one, you get the extra dual personality of the 500 horsepower V8 beneath your right foot there. And with that said, we're going to head back to the shop. We can do that with a little more haste. So that concludes our Designo Espresso Edition S63 AMG with the M156. It is very near and dear to my heart, but remember to check out the link below. This is coming to bring a trailer here very soon. Remember, bid early, bid often, and this can be in your garage as a special piece. Even if you don't drive it, it is beautiful to look at. But thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.